President Putin has always made his position, the position of Russia, very, very clear. That's never changed. The real question here is why should the Russians believe anything we say? This goes all the way back to the coup in 2014, the subsequent Minsk Accords, the arms control arrangements that we unilaterally dismissed out of hand is unnecessary. Why believe anything we say? And I think President Putin has been very straightforward and honest with President Trump. And people keep telling President Trump, well, he has to give something. If he doesn't give up his position in some way, you lose. You have to be a winner.
You know, when I hear that line, I'm reminded how often Washington treats foreign policy like reality TV. Somebody always has to win. Folks my age have seen that mindset backfire again and again, from Vietnam to Iraq. Real victories are quiet. Stable borders, open trade lanes, fewer body bags coming home. Putin keeps repeating his red lines because, to him, survival isn't a game show. If we keep looking for photo ops instead of durable deals, we may end up tallying losses no one can spin away.
This is the confusing aspect of the whole thing, because President Trump was far more rational 8 or 9 months ago when he recognized there was nothing happening in this area called Eastern Ukraine that justified the expenditure of American blood and treasure, nothing to be won, and that he really wanted to end the war. But every time he's tried to end the war, he's got people like Lindsey Graham saying, now, come on there, President, you've been played. Don't you understand? You've been played. And that kind of thing, I think, sadly resonates with President Trump. You listen to him on the golf course, and he says, you've been played. You can't allow this to happen. It's a lot of nonsense. We don't have any interest whatsoever in what happens in Eastern Ukraine. We never did. And Trump has always had it within his power to end this thing by simply declaring that and pulling out. But we want to be seen, or President Trump wants to be seen, as the heroic figure that brought about peace.
Wanting credit is human, but history rarely hands out solo trophies. Think Camp David. Carter wanted a win, yet it took Sadat and Begin swallowing pride to make it stick. If ego drives the agenda today, durable peace will slip through the cracks the moment cameras shut off.
They still live in a fantasy world. As we've said repeatedly from the beginning, they continue to believe the nonsense that Russia is weak, that Russian society is fragile, that Putin is a quote-unquote hated dictator. We are the good liberal Democrats that want to bring peace and happiness everywhere, which in reality means we want to bring in a bunch of some of the lowest forms of human life in the private sector to rape Russia, steal everything they can from it while we put a puppet in Moscow.
That playbook sounds awfully familiar. 1990s Moscow, early 2000s Baghdad, even Libya after 2011. Each time, the promised market miracle morphed into oligarchs, black markets, and simmering rage. When locals feel looted, they don't queue up for democracy, they reach for the nearest strongman.
Did Trump's bombing of Iran make the Middle East more stable or more volatile?
Not only is it more volatile, we are at war with Iran, and people don't seem to understand it. Simply because President Trump dropped bombs and then said, well, that's it. Now we want peace.
Bombs first, coffee later. It never works. Think of Gaza 2024. Airstrikes ended, but the blockade kept anger boiling.